On the 19th of May 2021, a seemingly ordinary cloudy day in Amsterdam was about to transform into a scene reminiscent of an action-packed thriller. As the city went about its usual pace, no one anticipated the chaos that was set to erupt. This riveting story unfolds with a group of masked assailants, an audacious robbery involving a Brinks security van, cars engulfed in flames, thrilling police chases, and a staggering amount of stolen loot. It all started in the early afternoon when 9 individuals, faces concealed and wielding automatic rifles, leapt from their parked vehicles, a black Porsche Cayenne and 2 black Audi A6s. Welcome to the Pursuit of Perpetrators channel, where I unravel the veiled tales of cryptic crimes. A Porsche reverses and forcefully rams a door through which a Brinks truck had just passed minutes earlier. This entryway led to Schöne Edelmetaal, one of the globe's oldest gold trading firms, founded in 1739 by Gerrit Schöne. The truck was laden with a cargo valued at over 67 million euros in various precious metals. Upon entry, the initial group of robbers swiftly directed their automatic rifles towards the employees, binding their hands and feet. They then blindfolded them with masks to ensure they could not witness the events unfolding. Outside, amidst the indoor chaos, Abdelkarim El-Ghi discharged his firearm, signaling to pedestrians and nearby residents to keep their distance or stay indoors. This created a palpable sense of danger on the streets, prompting people to flee or hide. In a stunningly brief encounter lasting no more than 3 minutes, the thieves managed to abscond with 22 boxes and numerous smaller packages filled with gold bars, platinum, and a variety of other valuable metals. The loot was strategically distributed among the cars to minimize the risk of losing everything should one vehicle be intercepted. These were seasoned criminals. Their expertise was evident. It emerged later that the police discovered these individuals had been conducting reconnaissance on the building for months. They had even created a detailed plan using drone footage. Schöne Edelmetaal was in the process of relocating their operations overseas, gradually phasing out this facility, a piece of intelligence the robbers had apparently acquired, recognizing this as their final opportunity to strike. As they made their escape, the situation escalated rapidly. While the robbers were loading their vehicles, the first police units were dispatched to the location. The chase began just as the thieves were fleeing. Upon spotting the police, they immediately opened fire with their automatic rifles, showing no hesitation in their desperate bid to evade capture. As the confrontation intensified, the police retaliated. It's important to note that this high-stakes chase unfolded in the heart of Amsterdam during the afternoon, a time when the city is typically bustling with people. Despite the public presence, the robbers were singularly focused on escaping with their haul, seemingly indifferent to the danger they posed to bystanders. Their only concern appeared to be the law enforcement officers on their tail, who they perceived as threats to their ill-gotten gains. In a desperate attempt to evade capture, the robbers resorted to throwing spikes at the pursuing police vehicles, aiming to disable them by damaging their tires. Interestingly, experts later suggested to the police that the reason no officers were struck by gunfire was likely due to the robbers' weapons being old and rusted. This condition could cause bullets to exit the barrel at unpredictable angles, complicating the robbers' ability to aim accurately. The high-speed escape continued out of Amsterdam, with gunfire still being exchanged between the fleeing suspects and pursuing officers. Eventually, the suspects reached Broek in Waterland, a quaint village just outside Amsterdam. Here, they had stashed less conspicuous getaway vehicles. Swiftly, they transferred the loot to these vehicles, including a Renault Megane, and torched the high-profile Porsche and Audis to destroy any evidence. The fate of the third car, however, remains a mystery, leaving one to wonder about its whereabouts. We'll circle back to the fate of the third car shortly. As the vehicles were consumed by flames, the robbers hurriedly fled. However, their lack of familiarity with the intricacies of the small town and the adverse weather conditions soon led them into dire straits. Before they realized it, they had driven into a dead-end street. Escape was no longer an option. Trapped and desperate, one of the getaway cars crashed through a garden, colliding with a tree. At the time of this chaotic intrusion, a mother and daughter were at home. They were horrified to witness men in black balaclavas and wielding automatic rifles, exchanging gunfire with police right in their garden. A truly terrifying ordeal. They later recounted to a news reporter how they hid in their closet, the sound of gunfire piercing the air around them. This critical moment caused the robbers to split up. 2 of the group decided to conceal themselves inside trash containers within someone's garden. The remaining members saw no other choice but to abandon the vehicles and flee on foot across the grassy fields surrounding the neighborhood. It was clear that their attempt to evade capture was nearing its end. As the robbers dashed across the vast grass fields, Gunfire continued to be exchanged with the pursuing police. Officers at the scene later expressed to reporters how intensely they had feared for their safety during the confrontation. The robbers found themselves in a predicament with no viable means of escape. The fields stretched for kilometers, and they were being chased both on foot and from above by a police helicopter. Despite their desperate resistance, the situation reached a fatal climax when one of the robbers was shot in the field. His name was Osiris Diawara, a 46-year-old man who, despite wearing a bulletproof vest, was fatally struck in the left collarbone, an area left unprotected. He died there, leaving behind a 14-year-old son. Meanwhile, one of the 3 getaway cars, a black BMW previously stashed under a bridge in Diemen as a second escape vehicle, managed to evade the police. After transferring their loot from the Audi and setting it aflame, the remaining robbers drove to Rotterdam South. Here, surveillance footage captured 3 men blending seamlessly into the crowd of a busy shopping street. Their casual demeanor belied the dramatic events they had just participated in. One was even still wearing the same hat and shoes he had on during the heist. Hours later, they were seen nonchalantly driving off in a Lamborghini Urus and a Golf 8 GTI, luxury cars that starkly contrasted their supposed urgency to hide. Initially, the news reported that the robbery had yielded no loot and was unsuccessful. Yet the calm composure of the robbers post-heist, as captured on camera, raises the question, does crime indeed pay? It's bewildering how they seemed utterly unfazed, as if they had merely stepped out for a leisurely walk rather than fleeing a high-stakes crime scene. Contrary to initial reports, the robbers did not leave the scene empty-handed. Although initial confusion might have suggested otherwise, further investigation revealed that they made off with a substantial haul worth millions. Specifically, they stole goods valued at approximately 14.5 million euros from a Brinks truck carrying over 67 million euros in precious metals. Given the constraints of time and the substantial weight of the metals, they could not take more, yet securing 14.5 million euros in just 3 minutes is a significant feat. The loot included 80 kilos of platinum, valued at 2.5 million euros, along with 1.5 kilos of gold dust, numerous gold bars, and a collection of golden rings and other small accessories. Despite the meticulous planning that went into the heist, the aftermath saw most of the robbers captured. Many were apprehended in the grassy fields of Broek in Waterland shortly after the heist. Of the 3 who initially escaped, one was caught later that day in Rotterdam. It wasn't until December 23rd, 2022, that another was arrested in Guinea, West Africa. The 3rd remains at large, with his whereabouts currently unknown. Of the 14.5 million euros worth of stolen goods, items valued at approximately 4.2 million euros are still missing. The exact profit that the robbers may have ultimately realized remains uncertain, as the items they stole are challenging to liquidate. Most of the individuals involved in this audacious robbery have been sentenced to 18 years in prison, reflecting the severity of the violence used during the heist, which significantly influenced their sentencing as noted by the judge. Only one participant received a lighter sentence of 5 years, due to his minor role and the fact that he did not fire at police during the escape. Whether any of the robbers will benefit from the still missing loot after their release remains uncertain and speculative. This event has been etched in the memory of the Netherlands as one of the most violent robberies in its history. An experienced officer remarked that the events of May 19, 2021 stood out as the most significant and shocking incident in his 32 years of service. The robbery was extensively covered by the Dutch media, which repeatedly highlighted the dramatic and almost cinematic nature of the events, including the Wild West scenes, intense police chases, and the considerable amount of loot involved. The peculiar and dramatic conclusion to the heist also captured attention internationally, making headlines around the world and adding to the notoriety of the event. Share your thoughts and feedback in the comments section below. If you found my investigative analysis insightful, please be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the Pursuit of Perpetrators channel. Don't forget to hit the bell icon too, so you'll get notified each time I release a new video. I appreciate your support and look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Until then, stay curious and keep seeking truth.